All right, ladies and gentlemen. It says we're live, so let's do this. But, I guess, what's going on? So this was from yesterday's Corona Task Force briefing as well. The president comes up, he speaks for about 15 or so minutes. Let's get the president's initial remarks as well, and I may do a few other videos because there were some points within the dialogue and everything that I'm like, maybe we should point them out. Maybe it's petty. I don't know, but let's get into it. Mr. President.
I just had a meeting with Kevin McCarthy, future Speaker of the House, I hope. And he's done a fantastic job for the people of California, and also the people of California have done a fantastic job. When you look at the bump, you take a look at the bump and how they're doing out there. So I congratulate everybody out there.
California put a lot of things on more or less lockdown a while ago.
So Kevin, please.
Well, thank you, Mr. President, and I would like to thank you on behalf of California. Governor Newsom says the work that you're doing together has been working very closely. It's been effective in California as well, the Vice President and the President. You know, today, Mr. President, I want to thank you especially for the work that Secretary Mnuchin has done, especially for small businesses. Just today alone, I saw Bank of America had more than 10,000 loans in 2 hours. And for anybody who's in small business, I had first small business when I was 20 years old.
That was one of the issues,
You don't have
clarification
income
from the
coming
banks.
in right now. You get a loan, but for your rent, paying your employees, and paying your utilities is a grant. That's part of the CARES Act. And I think you're going to find that a lot of small businesses are going to hire people back, keep them afloat through the next 2 months, and get this economy moving again as we get through this virus. So I just want to thank you for all that.
That's the thing, it's supposed to be allowed for up to
Thank you.
100% of payroll forgiveness, as long as they qualify, which the banks want clarification.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. And I want to start by saying that our hearts go out to the people of New York as they bear the brunt of the coronavirus pandemic
hit hard.
in America. That seems to be the hot spot right now, but you have some others, as you know, that are very, very bad, very bad. Louisiana is getting hit very hard. Parts of Michigan are getting hit
A lot
very,
of things.
very
You could be an
hard.
asymptomatic carrier
New
for 2
Jersey
weeks or so.
is surprisingly, it's much greater than anybody would have thought. They're doing a really good job. Governor's doing a really good job out there. New York's first responders,
thing is you don't want the
EMTs,
healthcare
doctors,
system to
nurses
collapse.
are showing incredible courage under pressure. They're
No
the
beds at
best
the
in the
hospital.
world. We
Good luck if you
will
have an
take every
accident or a medical
action, and
emergency.
we'll spare no resource, financial, medical, scientific. We will not spare anything. We'll get it back into shape. The Empire State, the governor's doing an excellent job. They're all working very hard together.
City that
At
never
the request
sleeps
of the
is
governor, as you
basically
know,
the city that's
the
more or
Javits
less
Center,
always closed.
we have 2,500 beds, and we're going to allow that to be a system where this horrible disease can be looked after, the patients can be looked after. That was
That's the thing,
going
the
to
folks
be
that need care, they really
for
need care.
regular medical problems such as accidents. And, you know, it's very interesting. The governors tell me we don't have too many accidents and very few people driving.
Wow.
So we're going to put that facility into play, which is a big facility. The ship will be staying the way it is, but we're putting that facility into play to help them. And today also the CDC is announcing additional steps Americans can take to defend against the transmission of the virus. From recent studies, we know that
Basically, we're getting
the
the face
transmission
coverings.
from individuals without symptoms
So if you have
is
a
playing
bandana
more
or
significant
something
role in
like
the spread
that,
of the virus than previously
scar.
understood.
It's basically covering
So
your
once
nose
you
and
have
mouth.
symptoms and it
So
still
as you're
gets
breathing it, you happen to
transferred
be
in light of these studies,
infected,
the CDC
it
is
catches
advising
it.
the use
Or
of
if you have a cough and sneeze and you're not
non-medical
properly, it's
cloth
catching
face
that
covering
too.
as an
Just
additional
minimizing the spread
voluntary
statistics.
public health measure. So it's voluntary. You don't have to do
Math is hard.
it. They suggest it for a period of time, but this is voluntary.
But
I don't think I'm
you're,
going to be doing
you're,
it.
you're encouraging me to wear a bandana,
One of the ways
Mr.
you can
President?
look at it as follows.
I'm
The
game.
CDC is recommending that Americans wear a basic cloth or fabric mask. They can be either purchased online or simply made
Well,
at
that's the
home.
thing. An
probably
actual better
material that you'd
form-fitting
have at
mask.
home.
You
These
want that
face
for the health
coverings
professionals.
can be easily washed or reused. I want to emphasize
those are the
that
folks we
CDC is
need.
not recommending the
Nothing
use
against
of
anyone
medical
else,
grade or
but
surgical grade masks, and we want that to
Hierarchy of people
be used
for
for our
PPE.
great
personal
medical
protective equipment.
people that are working so hard and doing some job. Medical protective gear must be reserved for the frontline healthcare workers who are
Right.
performing those vital services. The new mask guidelines also do not replace CDC's guidance on social distancing, including staying in your home when possible,
Right. These are additional
standing at least
factors.
6 feet apart for a period of time.
If you layer all these
Again, we're going to
together,
all come back together here.
if
we're
you're
gonna
out
all
there,
come back together
if you're
and
6 feet
practicing
apart,
hand hygiene, which we should
if
do anyway.
you have
A
a
lot
face
of
covering,
things I think
you're
are
a lot
going
less
to
likely.
spill over. Shaking
Even
hands,
South
maybe
Korea and
will stay
Japan.
with our country for a long
They're
time.
seeing a ramp up,
beyond
but
this.
still, they've
One of
maintained, kept
one of
that
our great
curve low
doctors was
for a
telling
while.
me that, as you know, we have
A
flus
lot of
every
folks,
year.
they're wearing face
And
coverings
the
anyway.
number of people killed by the flu is very substantial. It said that if they didn't shake hands, that number would be substantially lower. So maybe it'll stay.
also true.
Maybe some of these things long term
Along
will
with
be
the
good.
elbow bump.
But those guidelines are still
like
the
it.
best and the safest way to avoid the infection. So with the masks, it's going to be really a voluntary thing. You can do it. You don't have to do it. I'm choosing not to do it, but some people may want to do it, and that's okay.
You also had
It
a
may be
test.
good. Probably will. They're making a
within
recommendation.
24
It's only a
hours, so-
recommendation. It's voluntary. We're also taking action to ensure the cost of no barrier to any American seeking testing or treatment of the coronavirus, the largest insurer nationwide. The Blue Cross
I am
Blue
hearing a lot of
Shield
conflicting
system has
reports,
now
Mr.
announced
President.
that it will not
Hearing we have all
require
these
any
tests, but
copays, which is really
are they
something.
at the
That's a
places they need to
tremendous
be?
statement from patients of the virus treatment for the next 60 days, similar to the commitments of
They're
Cigna,
not where they need to be.
Humana,
Why
Anthem.
aren't they?
Those are
Is it
great
a
companies, and they're
issue
all
with
doing
something
the same
federally
thing.
communicated? Is
So
an issue with
copays for them
something
to
that
do
the
that
states are
is
communicating?
big statement. We appreciate
Do we
it.
not have that communication?
Today I can so proudly announce that
I mean, these are
hospitals
important
and
questions.
healthcare
I mean, we're talking
providers
about people's
treating
lives, so
uninsured
apologies continue.
coronavirus patients will be reimbursed by the federal government using funds from the economic relief package Congress passed last month. So that was as per the question yesterday, and actually the day before yesterday. This should
Oh, yeah.
alleviate any
About all that
concern
quote-unquote free
uninsured
money.
Americans may have about seeking
Free money.
the coronavirus.
We're
treatment.
loaning ourselves
So
money
that's,
from
I think,
next
answers
year's
the
refunds.
question pretty well, and very much in the favor of our great people. I'm also signing a directive invoking the Defense Production Act to prohibit export of scarce health and medical supplies by unscrupulous
this,
actors and profiteers, the Security and Secretary.
Now, I'm also
Secretary
hearing a lot
of
of
Homeland
these things were
Security
going to other
will
folks
work
in
with
need,
FEMA
whether
to
it's
prevent
Canada or
the
China.
export of N95 respirators,
And
surgical masks,
we are
gloves,
using
and
them for
other
ourselves.
personal
Again,
protective
DPA,
equipment. We need
but
these items immediately for domestic use. We have to have
other
them.
people need them too.
But
So,
we've done really well with
But-
the purchase
you're not the president of the
of
world. You're
items,
the president
and
of these
you'll be
United
hearing about
States.
that
So,
shortly. We've already leveraged the DPA to stop the hoarding and price gouging of crucial supplies. Under that authority, this week, the Department of Health and Human Services, working with the Department of Justice, took custody of nearly 200,000 N95 respirators, 130,000 surgical masks, 600,000 gloves, as well as bottles, many, many, many bottles, and disinfectant sprays that were being hoarded. All of this material is now being given to healthcare workers. Most of it's already been given out. And we've given a lot to New York, a lot to New Jersey, a lot to other places. In addition, to ensure that healthcare workers in New York have the protective equipment they need, the federal government, in the name of the Department of Defense, is providing about 8.1 million N95 respirators, Department of Defense. And we've already given 200,000 of them to New York City. Mayor de Blasio needed them very badly, so we got them to Mayor de Blasio in New York City. They were very grateful. 8.1 million, and we're going to be increasing that number from 8.1 million to more. That's a lot of N95 respirators. Today, my team spoke with the CEO of Ochsner Health and the CEO of LCMC, the two largest health systems in New Orleans. They said they feel that they currently have enough ventilators. I think a lot of people are going to have enough ventilators
Well, that's the
and
thing.
masks and appreciate what we did.
When
and
there are spikes, we need to
all
be able
of the
to
things we've been doing
get
with
them to
them,
where they need to
working with
be.
them.
That's
The
something I
CEO
think the
of
president could
Ochsner,
have
Warner
articulated
Thomas,
a little
who's really
better.
been fantastic, I have to say, indicated a need for 230,000 surgical gowns, and I instructed FEMA to deliver them tomorrow, so they'll have the 230,000. That's Louisiana, New Orleans. 230,000 surgical gowns, they'll have them by tomorrow. We're expanding the role of the armed forces in our response effort because no one is better prepared to win a war than the United States military, and we are in a war. The invisible enemy, remember. Over 9,000 retired Army medical personnel have answered their nation's call and are now supporting field hospitals and medical facilities all across the country, like what I just told you, that Governor Cuomo requested we do something in Javits where we take it over, and we're going to have that manned by the military because it's very tough to get people, more people in the New York area, so we're going to have it manned by the military. Javits Center. National Guard members have been activated to help states build new treatment centers and assist in the seamless distribution of medical supplies. That includes National Guard. The National Guard is assisting very strongly because the states were, in many cases, unable to have the delivery capability from warehouses and other places that we put the supplies. So I've given approval to use the National Guards, the various National Guards in the different states. And they're doing a fantastic job of not only protecting people, but delivering material. The Army Corps of Engineers has assessed more than 100 facilities in all 50 states and is rapidly building temporary hospitals and alternative care sites in many states, in New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Arizona, California, Colorado, Florida, Illinois, New Mexico, Oregon, Washington, Wisconsin, Ohio. They're doing a lot of work, and just those states plus additionals that are will be announced probably tomorrow, but they're doing some
Governor
job.
Baker
The Army
had a
Corps of
major
Engineers,
disaster
what a job they're
declaration.
doing, and FEMA, what a job they're doing. As we deploy the power of our military, we're also deploying the skill of our doctors, scientists, and medical researchers. We continue to study the effectiveness of hydroxychloroquine and other therapies in the treatment and prevention of the virus,
it's
and we will
promising.
keep the
Hopefully
American
we have
people fully informed on our
minimal, if any,
findings.
side effects.
Hydroxychloroquine, I don't know. It's looking like it's having some good results. I hope that would be a phenomenal thing, but we have it right now. In approximately now, it's increased to 1,500 people. I spoke with Dr. Zucker in New York. Terrific guy, by the way. We're doing a good job.
Yes, the FDA had approved
And I
that
spoke to Governor Cuomo
use as a
last evening and
prescription
this morning
treatment.
about it. So
We're
it's
doing
been there for about
studies.
3.5 days, but
Hopefully
I
things
think,
go well for those
and
people.
in many other places it's being tested too.
We can save lives.
And we have a tremendous
Go for
supply
it.
of it. We've ordered it in the case that it works, and it could have some pretty big impacts. So we'll see what happens. My administration is
tempered it
also
down a
working to
little
get
bit. Thank
relief
you.
to American workers and businesses in day one of the
The president is
Paycheck
not a
Protection
doctor.
Program. As Kevin said, more than $3.5 billion in guaranteed loans have been processed to help small businesses keep their workers employed during the unprecedented time, And Bank of America has been incredible. Of the big banks, Bank of America has really stepped forward and done a great job. And then you have the community banks, your smaller banks, and we're already at $3.5 billion going out to incredible people. But that's way ahead of schedule. The SBA and the Treasury are working around the clock, and our banking partners are really incredible. And they're ensuring that the money gets to small businesses as quickly as possible, and then the small business, in turn, take care of employees that they would have had to let go, and now they'll keep them.
Well, a lot of
And
places
that's
have let
good.
people go, Mr.
And then they're going
President.
to open for business, and they're going to have their employees, and we'll try and get back to where we were.
This is why we're going to make
Eventually, we're going to
decisions. Like we
supersede
need
where
to
we were. The
Try
energy
to
industry has been
it
especially
done as
hard
well
hit
as
in the
possible.
crisis. This afternoon, I met with
And
Greg
communicate
Garland
how
of
it's being
Phillips
done.
66, Dave Hager of Devon Energy,
Keep on going
Harold
back.
Ham of Continental
Why
Resources,
weren't people on record for
Jeff
votes?
Hildebrand of
That's all I'm
Hillcorp
saying.
Energy, Vicky Hollub of Occidental Petroleum, Mike Summers of the American Petroleum Institute, Kelsey Warren of Energy Transfer Partners, Mike Worth of Chevron, and Darren Woods of ExxonMobil. I informed them that we will be making space available in the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to let American producers store surplus oil that can be sold at a later time. There's a tremendous abundance of oil, primarily because of the virus. The virus has just stopped demand of everything, including oil. So we're working with our great energy companies. These are great companies. They
Still
employ
demand,
tens
just
of thousands,
basically created.
hundreds of thousands of people. And they've kept America really going for a long time, and no big price hikes, no big anything. I mean, they've just kept it going, and now they got hit. But with all the jobs and all of the good that they do, we're going to make sure that
That's the
they
thing.
stay
We're
in
watching.
good shape. America's engaged
We're watching
in
all
a
this. We're gonna remember.
historic battle to safeguard the lives of our citizens, our future society. Our greatest weapon is the discipline and determination of every citizen to stay at home and stay healthy for a long time. And we want them to stay healthy for a long time. So stay at home. This is ending. This will end. You'll see some bad things, and then you're going to see some really good things. And it's not going to be too long. We will heal our citizens, and we will care for our neighbors, and we will unleash the full might of the United States of America to vanquish the virus. And with that, I'd like to ask Mike Pence to come up, Vice President, say a few words, and we'll have a couple of other quick talks on a couple of subjects, and we'll take questions. And it's a beautiful Friday in Washington, D.C., and our country's a great place, and we're getting better. We're getting better very quickly. This was artificially induced. We just said, they said, close it down. You have to close it down. We closed it down, and we're healing, and we're going to get it better fast. So, Mike, if you could come up, say a few words.
All right, so we'll just stop that right there. But to just reiterate, the president has basically, upon the recommendation of the Coronavirus Task Force, suggested, again, it is not mandatory, but he suggested that basically Americans who go out, if you're going out there in public, whether you're going for groceries, this, that, if you're going to be around other people, still enact social distancing. Try to keep approximately 6 feet between you and other people. And if you have a scarf, a face covering, or something like that, a little makeshift mask, a bandana or something like that, you toss it on. Why? Well, because realistically this is likely spread by the air, but if it's spread by the air, how is the virus hitching along? Well, it's hitching along basically the hot air that we're spewing, because there is moisture. Heck, I learned this when I was selling windows and roofs and stuff like that. When you breathe or do anything, there is water vapor basically being expelled. If it's on that, I mean, we know this. I mean, if somebody coughs or sneezes and you're going through like their sneeze cloud or something, yeah, you can literally feel that. Some folks can literally smell that. Guess what? You're coming into contact with particles. So anything you can do to minimize that, and just even your standard breathing, you combine that with social distancing, we're going to greatly reduce the chances and number of cases and everything. I mean, this just makes sense, right? I don't know. All I am is some dude on the internet with a web camera. But, hey, thank you all for watching. Peace out, be safe, and long live the elbow bump.